Hey guys, this is Pushkaraj Pujari. I hope everyone is happy and doing great. So today's video is about variables in computer programming, and by end of this video you will have a basic understanding of what variables are when it comes to programming. And this will help you to understand and learn any programming language available as of now. For this video, we will be taking a little help from our programming languages like Java and JavaScript to explain our concepts. Now let's see what is the general understanding of the word variable in English. So if you Google it out, it says an element, feature or factor that is liable to vary or change. What it means is variable is something that may change. Not necessarily that it will, but it may change. Now how do you think of a variable when it comes to programming? So the most common way of thinking about a variable is to think of a variable as a box. So let us say we have a box. Now imagine what are the things we can do with the box. We can store something valuable in the box. How about keeping some jewelries in the box? So we can say that this is a jewelry box and we can only keep jewelries in it now. So that we don't forget what is in the box, let's name this box. We'll name it as my precious box. As this box holds something very valuable and expensive like jewelries, we will not let everyone touch this box. Only a few people can access it. Now our variable is very similar to this box. Like the box can store something valuable in it, a variable can be used to store some valuable data which can be used or manipulated in a computer program. In more technical terms, we could say that the data is actually stored in some memory location on the computer and the variable is a way to refer to that memory location. Like we discussed, it is not an ordinary box, it's not a tiffin box, it's a precious jewelry box and it can only hold jewelries in it. Similarly, in many programming languages, a variable has a type and the variable can only store data of that particular type. But before we can store any data or value in the variable, we need to create a variable. And the way a variable is created can be different in different languages. In computer programming, creating a variable is often referred to as declaring a variable. Declaring a variable is a way of announcing the memory it will need and the name it will have to the compiler. So declaring a variable is pretty easy. We would mention the type of the variable, then followed by its name. Now the type we mentioned would help the compiler to understand the amount of memory it will require, and the name that we gave to the variable will be used to fetch the data we have stored in it. Now this will create a variable. Assigning a value to a variable is done using the equal to sign or the assignment operator. In the given example, the value on the right hand side of the assignment operator is assigned to the variable written on the left hand side. For instance, if you create an integer variable in Java, you can only assign it integer values and not string values like hello world. Please note this is not true for all the languages. For instance, JavaScript. JavaScript is a loosely typed language, and if we wish to create an integer variable in JavaScript, we would do that simply by saying where my first variable equals 10 and the same variable can start pointing to a string value like hello world later in the program and still everything would work perfectly fine. Whereas this would cause an error in languages like Java. Now if you remember, we named the box as my precious box. Similarly, in the previous Java example, when we said my first variable equals 10, we actually declared an integer type variable with its name as my first variable. In many programming languages, the name of the variable are case sensitive. So my F capital first, V capital variable in camel casing, or M capital my F capital first, V capital variable in Pascal casing would be considered different. If you remember, we also said we would not allow everyone to touch or access our box as it's precious. Similarly, a variable cannot be used or accessed from anywhere in the program. A variable has a scope, and the scope of the variable describes where it can be accessed. Now, there are variables in computer programming which can be accessed from anywhere in the program and are generally called as global variables. Then there are variables which can be accessed only in a certain region of the program, like inside a function. we would call it local variables. Accessing a variable is pretty simple, and we can simply do that by calling out its name. Now, there is another aspect of the variable which is called the lifespan or the extent of a variable. This defines how long the variable will live in the computer program. Now, some variables may die out soon, or it may get garbage collected in languages like Java. Else, it can also be alive and accessible as long as the computer program is alive. So, to sum it up, we have learned that we can declare a variable and use it to store data on the memory, which can be used by a computer program to manipulate it or to make some sensible information out of it. Declaring a variable can be different in different languages, like we saw in our example today. A variable may or may not have a type. Also, this depends on the programming languages we are using. When a variable is created, a memory is allocated to the variable to store the data. Now, the variable points to the memory, and when we call the variable, it gets the data for us. We don't really need to worry about these internals, the language takes care of it. And finally, a variable has a scope, which defines the place in the computer program where it can be accessed. Also, a lifespan or an extent to which it may live in our program or be accessible. So guys, I will also be creating videos on variables with some programming examples, which would include a more detailed discussion about the expressions and the data types in the programming language. But that's all for this video. I hope this helped you and I hope you have learned something today. Please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and namaste.